Euromaxx, Lifestyle Europe. And here's your host, Karin Hemstedt.
Greetings from the German capital and a warm welcome to the show. And before we get started, let's take a rev through today's top stories. And in fact, you may even want to fasten your seatbelts for this one. Star Cars, the Geneva International Motor Show, is showing off the latest wonders on wheels. Catwalk king Papis Loveday is a wanted man in the world of male models. And making waves, Germany's Baltic Sea coast is a hotspot for surfers in the wintertime. Well, every year, Geneva in Switzerland plays host to the most exclusive automobile show on the continent. That's the Geneva Motor Show. And so from March 7th to 17th, the fastest and most elegant models will be on display for interested visitors. But seeing as ecology and the environment are topics that even passionate drivers can't ignore, innovative technologies are also a major point of emphasis in Geneva. And if a green car that can rip up the road seems like something of a contradiction in terms, well, there are new models that beg to differ.
One of the most anticipated cars in Geneva is simply called La Ferrari. With an engine churning out way over 900 horsepower, it's the fastest model in the company's history. And it's the first time the legendary Italian sports car builders have put in an electric drive.
I'm very pleased because I've seen so many people since early morning to see something that will be a car in the Ferrari history. It's the first hybrid. It's a car with the most innovative technology, 360 degrees.
The technology of the future is a major focus this year at the car show. And there are plenty of automobiles boasting green credentials. The fair's president, Maurice Turrettini, welcomes the trend.
We have about 10% of the exposed car, they are green cars. Constructors are making a lot of efforts, are investing a lot of money into the new technologies, and every year we have new technologies.
With its combined diesel and electric powertrain, Volkswagen's hybrid can travel 100 kilometers on less than a liter of fuel. Next year, the XL1's drive system will feature in mass-produced models.
I'm sure that what used to count as green technologies, and of course they're still green, will go more and more mainstream. Now it's a matter of putting them into mass production, democratizing the process and reducing emissions. Only by these large numbers can you have any real effect.
The green cars range from two-seaters, like the Toyota iRoad, to Rinspeed's Micromax multivan. The Geneva Motor Show is also living up to its image of a fair for the rich and famous, with a big gasoline-powered Rolls-Royce. Lamborghini has in turn unveiled a model with a beefy 750 horsepower engine. This flexing of motor muscle is the result of a search to find the best materials.
You know, we have to look for the best materials. And the best materials are not yesterday's materials, they're tomorrow's and today's. So for me, I think whatever is the best you want to have.
The three-time Formula One champion is drawn more to the new McLaren P1, a hybrid car that achieves a proud 916 horsepower with added electric motors.
What we're very pleased we've developed is a system which not only delivers very good CO2 figures and very good EV, but it also really adds to the driving experience of the car because it adds to the performance of the car.
What I don't want is to lose my DNA, Ferrari DNA, but if you can combine both, as we did in this car, it's fantastic, because from one side you have passion, technology, emotion of driving, performance, technology. From the other side, you have a big improvement in terms of ecology.
These car makers have written motor racing history. Now they're pioneers in a new market. Green cars that can cost €1 million or more.
When you're doing a car like this, you're able to push the boundaries of technology because you actually have the budget to do that. When you have a supercar race like we have in 2013 with McLaren and Ferrari all coming to market the same, we've pushed technology forward. And that's what you need. You need competition. You need the competition to push technology forward. And because I don't want to be standing here saying mine's the slowest car, and it's not. Mine's going to be the quickest car.
Indeed, Ferrari and other big names prove that environmentally friendly doesn't have to be a drag. But then again, these new cars certainly have their price.
Sexy stuff. Well, changing gears just a little bit, it's time for a look at what else was going on this day in Europe on the culture and lifestyle front.
Government gig. Fatboy Slim has earned himself another entry in the history books by becoming the first DJ to play the House of Commons in London. The Riverside party out on the terrace was likely one of the turntablist producer's smaller-scale spectaculars. Fatboy Slim, whose real name is Norman Cook, is one of the big names on the global DJ scene. His appearance on Thursday was part of a charity benefit.
Singer selection. Bonnie Tyler's to represent the United Kingdom at this year's Eurovision Song Contest with the song Believe in Me. It marks an impressive comeback for the smoky-voiced Welsh songstress, famous for a string of hits in the 1980s. Last year likewise saw the British sending a veteran performer to Eurovision. Crooner Engelbert Humperdinck could manage no better than next to last, however.
VIP Vintage. The first products of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's French vineyard went on sale on Thursday, and the first batch of 6,000 bottles of rosé was snapped up within hours. A further 100,000 will be up for grabs 2 weeks from now. Production is being overseen by a respected family of French vintners. The Hollywood couple have owned a vineyard in the south of France since 2008. It also serves as a summer residence for them and their 6 children.
Well, normally, when we talk about top models, we're referring to women like Kate Moss or Naomi Campbell. But Papis Loveday has the territory covered for the male sex. Originally from Senegal, he now lives in Munich in southern Germany, and it's pretty safe to say they simply can't get enough of him in the upper echelons of the fashion world. Well, not surprising, as he's considered by many to be absolutely perfect from top to toe. But you can be the judge of that.
This man doesn't need much makeup to look presentable for a photo shoot. Papis Loveday is one of the few male supermodels in the business. And away from the studios and runways, too, he's a classy dresser. Loveday can certainly walk the walk.
My style is elegant, avant-garde, and extreme. I've discovered that for myself since joining the fashion world. I enjoy it. When I look at myself, I think, wicked.
Papis Loveday was born and raised in Senegal. A professional track and field athlete, he came to Paris to train and to study computer science. He was discovered during a training session. Loveday has since progressed to become one of the most booked models in the world, and you can see why when he's out on the streets of Berlin. Photographers point their lenses in his direction whenever he graces a place with his presence. And the famous fashionista struts his stuff like a real diva.
That's what makes me different from other models. I'm physically masculine, but I have my own feminine touch. It's all about my body language, which makes me a bit feminine. It adds that brilliant photogenic edge. Things people don't normally have.
At this fashion show, he can relax with the rest of the audience. Instead of cruising the catwalk himself today, he's checking out other models and brands. Loveday recently signed an exclusive contract with a Paris-based fashion label. The dandy revels in his eccentricity. In fact, he's been an extrovert ever since he was a young boy.
I was always a bit different from other people, including my family. I was the one who they'd call loud and wild, always making chaos. At school, the others told me to become class valedictorian. I said, no, I don't care. I don't want to do that.
Papis is his real first name, but Loveday is an alias. His home? Wherever the fashion circus comes to town.
10 years ago, I was everywhere. I lived the fashion glamour lifestyle. But I also had normal friends. I savor the time I have.
His name is rightly mentioned in the same breath as the likes of Naomi Campbell, Cindy Crawford, and Gisele Bündchen. At least when it comes to partying. Papis Loveday, supermodel, style icon, and man about town.
Well, when it comes to surfers from the Northern Hemisphere, you may think the only way to get around winter is to head south to warmer climes and, of course, to waves. But there is a hardy breed of surfer that knows how to get the most out of the rougher winter weather conditions. Germany's Baltic Sea coast is a good place to spot them. And even when temperatures are hovering around the 0 degrees Celsius mark, these guys are suited up and ready to brave the water. Euromaxx reports.
Jan and Thomas tend to look on the sunny side of life, even when conditions are on the chilly side. Unlike many people, they relish the prospect of wintry weather.
If I feel like I'm getting too cold, I make sure to get out quickly before I cool down too much. Eventually your hands stop working properly. It can make it difficult to get out of your wetsuit because you can't get hold of the zipper anymore. You really do have to listen to your own body.
In the summertime, the Baltic Sea is as tame as a bathtub. But in the winter, the wind blows hard and fast here along Germany's northern coast. This kind of sport can really give you the chills. The air temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, but the water is a tad warmer, a relatively tropical 1 degree. Jan started surfing while on vacation abroad. To minimise the time between his surfing trips away, he can now man his board literally from his own backyard on the Timmendorfer Strand.
Here on the Baltic Sea, you sometimes only ride the wave for 4 or 5 seconds, but it seems like minutes. You dream about it later at night, for hours on end.
The 6mm thick wetsuit provides valuable protection from the cold, although not for hours on end. Making it thicker would compromise the surfer's mobility. The spectators up on the pier are happy to catch any action, however brief.
They're so brave. I took some photos and some video. It's fantastic, but I'd never do it myself.
Those are the courageous individuals who are perfectly happy to brave the waves despite the bone-chilling temperatures and the surfer traffic.
We have a right of way. Whoever hits the wave first stays on it. There's never any trouble. Everybody is conscientious. The mood is generally good in the water. If you're in control, nothing will happen.
What freezes first?
My feet, because my shoes aren't very thick. But once you've run a lap or so, you warm up, and then it's fine. We'll be out for another half an hour.
The Baltic tides are ripe for surfing from September to May. The weather might be more inviting in the summer, but then the waves are more a trickle than a deluge. Even these hard-skinned aces have their temperature limits, of course. But once the wind picks up again, they'll be back for more.
Well, that was exciting, but I have to admit that if I had my druthers, I'd be looking for something warmer to spend my holiday and leisure time in the winter. And what better way to warm body and soul than with some good food? Well, obviously, I'm also not alone with that thought, because travel trends are indeed showing that gourmet trips are a real hit, with people looking to explore the culinary side of a given place. And so we went to a very special establishment in Italy to see what's on the menu.
Dinner at the Antica Corta Pallavicina restaurant. On the menu, Culatello di Cibello, one of Italy's most famous varieties of prosciutto.
We just both enjoy very good food. To us, it's worth traveling to be able to try something this unique.
And to go home and try it ourselves.
The Antica Corta Pallavicina is a historic farm estate on the banks of the River Po, some 40 kilometers from the northern Italian city of Parma. Here, Michelin-starred chef Massimo Spigaroli demonstrates how the culatello is prepared according to an old family recipe.
Cooking is my greatest passion, and it's especially important for me to make what I eat myself. I want to be present at all stages of the process, from getting the ingredients to preparing the meal, right through to the finished dish.
Adding a special blend of spices and rubbing it with red wine gives the ham its distinctive taste.
Very interesting.
A master prosciutto maker must add just the right amount of ingredients. Now the Culatello di Cibello has to age for between 12 and 36 months. In the meat cellar, the ham develops its special aroma. Connoisseurs, including some high-profile personalities, often order theirs years in advance. But the delicacy has its price, costing around 120 euros a kilo.
My family has been doing this work for hundreds of years. We're proud to carry on the old tradition. That's why we still employ the same production methods. In a constantly changing world, it's important to preserve old customs.
The Corta Pallavicina was built in 1320. Massimo Spigaroli's forefathers lived here until the early 20th century. Then it stood vacant until 1990, when he took charge and renovated it. The estate has its own farm. In 2011, Spigaroli opened his restaurant on the site. Almost everything that's cooked here is grown or raised on the farm.
At our farm, you can see where everything comes from. Knowing the origins of the products improves their quality, and guests come here to experience the entire procedure, from processing to the finished dish.
There are many kinds of gourmet tours on offer across Europe. In South Tyrol, for instance, top chefs cook multi-course meals for discerning vacationers. And vegan cooking courses are catching on big time in Berlin. One reason for the rise of gourmet tourism is that people's expectations have also increased.
Creative holiday destinations also require creative activities. Food and drink are just one way of getting to know a country in a completely different way.
Gourmet trips offer visitors travel and good food, and the chance to see their vacation destination from a different, and dare we say, more delicious angle.
Yummy. Well, that does bring us to our quiz. And if you were watching 3 weeks ago in February, well, then you know that we were looking for a country and its capital city, this time as a tandem. And the trick was to put the letter clues together and to see that we were looking for the words France and, of course, that eternally romantic city, the capital, Paris. Paris. Our winner this time is Marco Maiani from Florence in Italy, so congratulations to him. And a DW iPod Shuffle should be on its way to you very, very soon. And now comes the fun part, because since just last week we have a brand new quiz format, and this one can get a little bit trickier because now you'll need to solve a scrambled puzzle picture of a personality who has appeared on this program sometime in the past week. You'll also get a few picture clues to help you along, and I can reveal that this week's person is a genius when it comes to fashion. So have a look at this, and best of luck to everyone.
Who are we looking for this week? Is it Karl Lagerfeld, Wolfgang Job or Michael Michalski? If you think you know the answer, write to us at DW Euromaxx, Volterstrasse 6, 13355 Berlin, Germany. You can send us a fax to 49 for Germany, 30 for Berlin, 46466505, or send an email to euromaxx.english@dw.de. You can also find the quiz on our website. The keywords are fashion designer. The deadline is March the 22nd. As always, our decision is final. And please don't forget the keywords.
A couple of good clues there. Well, that was our brand new Person of the Week quiz, so do try to have some fun with it and get your answers in to get in on the draw for an iPod Shuffle. And while we're in the business of draws and of consumer electronics, don't forget about Clipmania 100, which is going on for 100 days to celebrate the centenary edition of our series that's devoted to user-generated content in the form of films from the internet. Well, at the end of that time, we will be drawing for the winner of a Leica digital camera, so do stay tuned on what to do for that. And to get on with the show, at the moment we have Clipmania number 58, which is a pretty impressive parkour tour of Vienna, Austria. Some boys in extremely good shape. Well, that was number 58, as I said, and as soon as you've decided upon your favourite clip, just send the number in with the keywords Clipmania to us at euromaxx.english@dw.de. You can also send us a postcard, of course, or even a fax. Well, the deadline for entries is May the 10th, and you can find a link to view the entire Clipmania 100 playlist on our website. So happy viewing. Well, do get in on that draw, and you might just be the winner of a Leica camera. And that brings us to the end of today's edition. But we will be back on the weekend, so until next time, all the best from Berlin, and bye-bye.
Next time on Euromaxx, the highlight show with Popcorn Paradise. A German popcorn manufacturer offers some intriguing flavours. Fun furnishings. Designer Melanie Porter knits covers for furniture. Music mix. Bugger Wesseltoft likes to incorporate jazz in his electronic music. All that and more next time on Euromaxx Highlights.